Hello, welcome to the MMA Wales podcast. I'm joined here with the first Welshman to fight in the UFC, if you don't include Rashad Evans and John Jones, Mr. Brett the Pikey Jones.
What's happening, Rick? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, man. We got Alex Gill coming in. I mean, do you know much of Alex?
Yes, I know he's representing the North Wales MMA circuit very well. You know, like when you look at the top guys up in North Wales, especially at that amateur level, Alex Gill is one of the names. And all fairness to him, he's fought the who's who of Welsh MMA as well. You know, represented his country, and not only that, but more importantly, you know, he fought on adrenaline for the actual welterweight amateur title against a very, very good Josh Hudson. So yeah, you know, he's a really good athlete, strong welterweight, and probably one of the best we've got to offer in Wales.
Yeah, great guy, good submission fighter. Always got a lot to say. Let's bring him in. He had some trouble hearing him earlier, but I think he's fixing now. So let's bring him in. Hello, Alex.
Right, how's it going?
There he is. Can hear you now, and you don't have to wear them big, massive pink headphones you were earlier.
The joys of living in a house full of girls.
Is it? Well, you've become a dad recently for the second time. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've 9 weeks ago I had my baby boy. Just before this all kicked off, really. So it was quite good to get in and out of the hospital before that.
Because you couldn't make the Welsh squad training, so that was a pretty good excuse as far as I'm concerned. Your missus was literally just about to drop, so you know, congratulations from me and Brett and MMA Wales. So how's things been since lockdown? You managed to get your fitness up, or you just?
Yeah, I'm doing running, and now the missus is no longer pregnant. We're doing I've changed my conservatory to put some mats in there so we can just grapple and drill. Do you know what I mean? Because if I don't train, I'll just get fat. So,
well, Brett here, you were saying last week that he's in great shape at the moment. So it's crazy how some people.
It's the same as what Alex is saying though. Like, you know, he's been you know, he's saying that if he doesn't do something, he'll get fat. That's the main reason why I have been working flat out. Because I know if I take my foot off the gas, really, that I'm gonna be, you know, like if I'm not careful, and that I say, for example, that I didn't have this motivation that I've had for the last 9 weeks, and I was just out of camp, just doing what I wanted, I'd be 77 kilos, and for a little bantamweight, you cannot be that big, you know. So at the minute, though, it's looking good. I'm walking around about 69 kilos, and yeah, just getting the weight down. But like Alex said, you know, it's tough for me. You know, I'm in the house with my girlfriend, and she has no martial arts background whatsoever. So she probably got better stand up than me, though. So I'll give her that.
She could check leg kicks.
Other than that, she a lot better than me there, Rick. A lot better than me there. But no, like I said, I've been enjoying the whole process of being in, and I'm very lucky. She's been doing this diet, and I've been doing this diet, so there's no real bad foods in the house, and that just makes things a little bit easier. Because once this quarantine's over and done with, I feel like these fights, especially in the UK, they're going to be happening often. There's going to be a few shows popping up. I see shows popping up in that December area, just before Christmas, you know. But we'll have to see, you know. I know I'm going to be on furlough now until October, so a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is.
So you don't think the big Warriors card's going to be going on?
What's that?
You don't think the Cage Warriors cards are going to happen? Because you got one, could be August, and then I think the other one they've penciled in October.
It's hard to say, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, they were mentioning that a lot of things will be opening in July, the earliest. If that's the case, then yeah, I do see it happening. But really, I've heard earlier that a lot of things are going to be opening up in December time. So, you know, if you want to be extra safe, you know, like you said though, you know, at least we're in a situation where we can train now, and if that call does come earlier, then brilliant. You know, for yourself, Alex, you know, getting on a Cage Warriors card, it's not going to be that difficult straight after you get stuck straight into the training as soon as you get a quarantine. It's just, training wise, I feel like certain fighters are fit at the minute, really fit, but I feel
even I'm fit.
Yeah, it's just the difference between being fit than being fight fit. Now, I'm not saying that's a fitness related thing. It's like fighting wise. It's not it's your mental fitness for fighting. You got to be in sparring. You got to be in grappling. And at the minute, I haven't touched another meal for about 8 weeks, and I'm devastated.
I'm sure you are, Brett. I'm sure you are. So, Alex, you're not new to MMA. You're an amateur, but you've been training a long time, and you had your first 2 fights a very long time ago.
15. Yeah. So I fought at 70 in 2015, and then I joined the army, and then that was pretty much a 4-year layoff. So
did you manage, when you were in the army, did you manage to keep up your MMA training or boxing or anything, or did you just?
I did a bit of Italian boxing, and I was based in Chepstow, which isn't too far away from Newport, so I can occasionally travel there. And then the jiu-jitsu coach on camp, he opened up a gym, 10th Planet Swindon, and then that's when it was towards like the last year of the army, I got back into training well. The other times, I just never had time, like. I was always
Alex, what like regiment were you in with in Chepstow?
1 rifle, same as Brian.
You are, yeah. I thought because obviously that's what my cousin Brian was in the 1 rifles, and Chepstow's one of the main barracks for the 1 rifles, isn't it?
Yeah, so like it was funny because I was chatting to him at Adrenaline, and I think he left in the May. And then I turned up at 1 rifles in June, so we just missed each other.
Just missed each other, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that would be a good training partner. But so you finished the army now, have you? And you're back. You're on Civvy Street. Is that right?
Yeah, it's been 18 months now. I've been out, and I've just been fighting since.
So You started back MMA, and you trained in Birmingham with 10 Planet there, and of course there's a local gym near you as well, Empire, which is affiliate of 10 Planet. Now, tell us a bit more about your gym.
So it's run by Joe Rice. There's a few of us in there. So you've got, it's like, because Joe's a 77 kilo guy, so the main coach is my weight, and then you've got Callum. A friend of mine, Turnfield, he's a 77 guy, and then you've got Rob Bennett, who's at 70, and of course there's a few flyweights like Steve and Tim Davis. So we've got it's all right. It's don't have the same training partners as we would in some of the big gyms down by south, but it's quite compact and it's not too bad. I mean,
yeah, and you started. You came to the last year's Welsh MMA Cymru trials, and you were impressed at the trials, but it wasn't until you fought on Adrenaline that you really made a name for yourself.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm impressed with the trials. I can't remember the lad. One of Scotty's mates. I was quite fat coming out of the army at like 95 kilos, and I was roughly about that when the trial came. And I got bounced about for a bit, but yeah, definitely when I got there, the first fight in the IMF, I don't think I could find my feet really in the fight. Kind of struggled getting into it, and the French lad, God rest his soul, gave me a good scrap. The second fight, I felt quite comfortable after that, even though Ricky loves saying that I was losing the whole fight, but.
I have a flay.
A few times now, and I
have a flay for the dramatic.
Yeah,
I want to make it sound better.
And there he is, gobbing off, saying that I was losing the fight.
And you come back, snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, and you rip that guy's arm right off his shoulder out. And Well, I'm talking about adrenaline now. The first time you fought on adrenaline, and you fought, and you hadn't made the Welsh team at the time.
No.
The decision hadn't been made, and you fought. Your opponent pulled out, and you had to fight upper weight, but you really wanted the fight, didn't you? So you fought Will.
Yeah, I won't do that again. But yeah, I know you should have seen the bloke on the scales when he was like middleweight, and then I jumped on the scales at 70. No, it's like 173 pounds or something. And he was like, "You're right," and I was still in my jeans. Like, yeah. But
and then you got a win, you got a submission win, and then you had something to say straight away, didn't you? You had something to say. You someone in ringside you wanted to say something to.
It's like the wolf kid in the corner. I thought I might as well go off at him.
Well, you came up to me and you said, "Who's gonna roam now? Who's gonna roam now?" And then I was like, "Right." After that performance, he's got to be in the Welsh team. And you went out to Rome and you fought really well. Ended up losing to the gold medalist, to Ramazan Gitinov, who is like the pound for pound #1 amateur in the world now. Yeah. And during that fight, I remember before you were saying to me, "I'm gonna tap him out, and then I'm gonna go over to the Prince of Bahrain." And I say, "I'm coming for you." So when Alex was like, Alex got caught in he got caught in an Anaconda Choke, and I was gutted because he was out, and me and Christy, there's a picture of me and Christy like watching like this ringside, like, and then when I realized you were right, then I was gutted you lost, but I was so relieved you weren't.
You weren't going to find me missing with my head gone because I've offended a prince.
And when you woke up as well, Dr. Saf, who's the doctor from Adrenaline Fight Night, who did your post-IMAF medical, she was in the cage with you.
I'm really struck.
Yeah.
And didn't you think that you were still in Swansea having your medicals?
Yeah, so I was lying down, and it was quite a surreal moment, really. And it was all black, and I could just hear ringing. And then I come around, and I've just got Chris Reese on the left of me, and what's the name?
Saf
on the other side, and I can hear him. I can see him talking, but I couldn't hear anything. It was just bells ringing. I was looking up, and just before that, I was like dreaming about going to Rome. I was looking, and then Chris was like, Alex. He's like, "Do you know where you are?" And then I was just like, "Oh, I won't repeat it." I was like, "I'm in Rome, innit, Chris?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I've just been choked out, haven't I, Chris?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, and like, that was the first fight that my kids and my missus were watching together. So I was like, no, I need to get up because I don't know if they know if I'm all right or not. And I stood up, and Chris was like, "Sit down." And I was like, no, let me stand. It's all right. Yeah, Saf come up to me after it and like apologised. I didn't. And she was like, "Sorry for letting it go," because I've watched that fight again. I'm out for quite a while, but I thought it's not a problem. Do you know what I mean? The referee didn't know what he was doing.
But like, I mean, when you were in the Welsh team, there was a lot of people from around the South Wales area who've made their name on the South Wales team, and you were relatively unknown because you're from Mid Wales, but you were kind of like the wild card, the guy who came in and had a really good run in IMAF. I mean, your two first victories and then losing to the gold medalist. So this year now, you came to trials this year again, impressed again, and obviously got selected again. But unfortunately, the Euros have been cancelled. How do you take the news, or did you see it coming?
Well, after instantly it all kicked off in Italy, I thought, well, we're not going to Rome again. Whatever happens, it is what it is, isn't it? I can't really do anything about it. You just got to roll with it and just try and not get flat.
Yeah. And then you got the World Championships are still scheduled for now in Kazakhstan, probably November time. And you got your eyes set on that, or getting your hopes up too much?
Hopefully, I'd like it. I'd like to. Well, I'm hoping that it will be open up before the Worlds come or next year's Euros, so I can get a ruck of fights in before going out there. Do you know what I mean? Get back on track, because it's not a place to be finding your feet. Do you know what I mean? There is some genuinely hard fights like that. Razlan, he then went on to win the Worlds as well, and he's probably going to be there again. So, and I'm hopefully I can fight him again. So I don't want to be going in there just coming off quarantine. I would like to be heading in fit, ready, with a couple of fights. I mean, after I lost my last fight, I don't really want to be going to a tournament with my last fight as an L.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But you bounced back from that. You went on and had a scrap on Cage Warriors where you impressed. Tell us about that fight.
Yeah, I fought a lad called Casper. I can't say his last name. I was going into it. I think when we first got matched, I was 3-0 and he was 2-3 or something. And then by the time the fight rolled over, I was 5-1 and he was like 2-6. I was a bit like, I didn't really want to. I wanted a bit more of a test, and that's when, of course, one of the fighters who was supposed to be fighting Josh pulled out, and that's when I messaged Colin. Well, I messaged my coach first, and I messaged Colin asking for it, but it couldn't be done. So yeah, I went in there, and I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna run through this guy as hard and as fast as I possibly could. So I just got a hold of him, dragged him to the ground, and give him a hiding.
And you sorted your next fight out that night, didn't you? So during I'm sure like James Wallace, the Adrenaline promoter, who's usually with us on the podcast. The fight against Josh Hudson for the Adrenaline title was literally made that night, wasn't it?
Yeah, I went over, and of course I was going off, pretty pumped, full of adrenaline. I think I asked for I was like, I'll fight for your title in the next one. I think I asked for Adam Mayo because he was supposed to fight that night, but then I got a message saying it was Josh. So I was like, happy days. Yeah.
Well, that was a good fight with Josh. I mean, he beat you and with the wrestling, but thing with Josh, a lot of people think he should have been professional before then, and a lot of his fights up until then, he's managed to put people away. And no matter how hard he tried it, you were always there.
It's not a fight that you like. It's not an enjoyable fight. It was quite frustrating. And to be fair, the Batman won that day. But I just feel like I don't know. I felt like I wasn't on my point, and to be fair, we drilled so much to just stand with him and stand, and I think I veered too far off my own path, and I should have initiated grappling for myself for takedowns, but it is what it is. He's now the champion, and I think he's going pro. So yeah, it's going to be a couple of years before anything happens again.
So what do you think of the other welterweights in Wales? I mean, you obviously know Daniel Morris, not Daniel Morris, sorry,
Michael
Morris as well.
Yeah, Mike's good, to be fair. For the Casper fight, we were going so we were doing every other Friday going up to IPC because Steve was fighting and Aaron Aby's perfect for him. He's another flyweight, so we were going up there, and I think Aaron was getting ready for a fight pretty on the same card as Steve. So yeah, we were going up there, and he's good. He's really unorthodox standing wise. He always stood there, and then next thing you know, you got foot in your mouth. So there's the only other really people I know is Callum, he's my training partner, and
Callum
yeah, maybe. I don't know if Adam Mayo's fighting. I thought Dan Morris was a welterweight, but he's he weighed in lightweight on the same day. So
Yeah.
I don't really know anyone else really, if there is any.
What about the UK scene as a whole? I mean, what do you know many about the welterweights in your division?
Well, the English side, because I found this out, the English side is day before weigh-in, isn't it? They do a lot of day befores, so I'd be a 155er. There's quite a lot of good 155ers, especially in the UKFC. I think their lightweight champ is Teddy Springer or something like that. He's pretty good. You got Golden Promotions. They've got some good fighters on there as well.
Yeah. And so have you ever thought about turning pro? I mean, like, is that something that's in your career plan, or is it to stay amateur and do it for fun, or something you want to get paid for?
Yeah, 100%. I'd love to go pro, but I'm going to try and take like Scotty Pedersen's style of, I want a lot of amateur fights. Do you know what I mean? I think going in pro after, like, say now I had 8 fights, jumping in pro now, it could, you know, I go 5-0, I could end up fighting some really top level guys without the cage experience. Do you know what I mean? So this is why I like IMAF a lot, because I can have 5 fights in a week and I can build that experience. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. We're still having a bit of trouble with Brett. He was working really well for a bit, and see, they've only just installed 2G down Pontedilla, so
2G.
2G, yeah. So he's catching up with us, and but at least he's corona free. If for all you conspiracy theorists out there watching, so yeah. So I was gonna ask you, so tell us about your time in Rome. I mean, a lot of things happened in the cage, and you had a really good performance in all your fights. But any stories about your teammates and staying on the camp and anything like that?
What about the is it the beach party that we went to?
The beach party. Yeah, that was a good night. That was.
And your friend checking kicks. Well, he was checking me hitting him with a stick.
Yeah, Jordan Curran works for IMAF. You kept calling him Russell Brand, and then hitting him with a stick.
Like Russell Brand, and he sounds like.
Yeah, it was bit of a mad night. Who did you room with out in Rome?
Aaron Abbey. So it was me, Aaron Abbey, Haley, Jamie Paul, and Adam.
So, like, I guess it was quite responsible with Aaron, because Aaron's like, you know, he's the coach and he's quite responsible.
Yeah.
So
He was pretty chilled. I was like, I said to him, like, I'm gonna after I got choked out, I was like, well, I'm gonna hit town quite hard. But he was pretty sound with it. He was like, yeah, don't worry about it. And yeah, you had a wild card in Jamie Paul in there as well. So.
Oh yeah, Jamie Paul, Jamie the Minerals Paul. Yeah, love to get him on, but I think he swears too much, and he might come on like intoxicated, and it might not be a good look because he's a bit wild. Yeah, and I guess you roomed with you shared the same chalet as Haley as well, and she's quite a good girl. She was like my team captain sort of thing. She was the most responsible there, so I would like after Glenn's fight, and he wanted to get on her. She was like, "No, you've got concussion. You can't go out drinking." And I was like, "Yeah, that's my girl."
Yeah, and that worked out really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Haley is pretty cool, to be fair. I think she wasn't scheduled to fight on the same card as Steve, but I think she was having an injury while we were going up there at the moment. So
yeah,
so they didn't.
She started running again now, and every time she hits a fast time, I hit a faster time. So I just keep rubbing in that like a 16-stone fat man is faster than like.
So what you're saying is you're pausing your times to then.
No, you'd think that,
being-
but I'm actually genuinely really good at running these days. That's all I
Have
do.
you found a way to just go down the hills, Ricky?
Well, yeah, I live up a hill, see, right? So if you look at my track, it's all the way down, and then it comes around, and then I walk back up to the house. So, yeah, I am cheating a little bit, but you know, I'm getting fitter now, and S4C have done a little piece about me as well, so that's going to be on next Tuesday. But I'm going to miss it because I'll be on you. And I think James Wallace, he'll be back as well. I think the dog ate his phone or something, so he can't. The dog ate his laptop or something, so he couldn't make it tonight. It's a shame, really, because you could be like, I won the adrenaline title, and you could call people out and stuff. But
well, I can't because I didn't win it, so it's a bit.
Yeah, but you know.
I think because he asked me to do day before weigh-in, so
Yeah.
And like I immediately said to Joe, my coach, I was like, I'm not doing day before weigh-in. Silly. Do you know what I mean? I was 77. I walk around when I'm training full time, like not full time, but when I'm back in training, I'll walk around between 77 and 79. So it's just like I'm not going to do day before, but I probably I do want to before going pro. We definitely want to go into like England or on adrenaline. Do fights at 155 to like perfect the weight cut. So
yeah. So have you got
fighting for the lightweight championship?
So if you fought at lightweight, if you fought a pro, you'd definitely be a lightweight.
Yeah, probably, maybe. I don't know. And I'd probably go like it was Jack Shaw did. He fought at featherweight for quite some time, and then dropped down to bantamweight when it got harder and it was getting closer to the UFC, the UFC. So that's probably what I'd take, because you see a lot of guys who cut a lot of weight for the earlier fights, and then you see them when they do make it to the big time, they end up having to go up a weight category because they've just been killing their bodies when they're young. So I'd much prefer to fight lower level guys who are bigger than me to such than be fighting better guys who are bigger than me.
I find that when you're not being paid the same money you would be to fight on a bigger promotion, to put yourself through a big cut without the financial support, I find it bonkers when people do that, So it's I mean, when Jack Shaw fought as an amateur in IMAF, he fought in the lightweight division. So now he's in the UFC 20 pounds lighter, but I guess now he's got all the support around him to make the weight comfortable and to not just make it comfortable, just to perform at that weight as well. And I think for someone to do that, you generally need to.
He's probably going to stay at bantamweight now for the rest of his career. He's probably not going to have like big weight cut issues like you see a lot of guys having because of the the jump from such a young age.
Did you watch UFC on weekend?
Yeah, I did.
What do you think?
It was good. It was weird though, like the atmosphere in that. I think it did kind of take away from the fights, if you know what I mean. But it was IMAF.
Yeah, I guess. Very similar, like you, because an IMAF, especially the earlier part of the week, you only really get the fighters in the arena because it's like a school, like people in work in schools and that. And then on the Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays, it usually builds up, So well, were you up to tonight? Anything this weekend coming up, or staying in lockdown?
UFC on Thursday, UFC on Saturday. That's what I'll be doing this week, and then sorting my decking out.
Yeah, good stuff. Anyway, thanks for coming on, and it's been a pleasure to have you. We've said for ages we want to get you on because the one advantage of not being able to make it into the studio and doing it live through StreamYard is that we can speak to the fighters in Mid Wales and North Wales, and we can get a lot more people on now, and so that's the one advantage to this. And so again, thanks for coming on, and it'd be a pleasure to have you on again. And ladies and gentlemen, this year, do you any shout outs before we go, like sponsors?
Not any sponsors at the moment. Like thank the previous sponsors for getting me to the Euros. So Red Kite, AL Technical, Woosnam Shop. Yeah, there we go. All right.
Cool. Thank you, Al. I'll catch you later, buddy.
Bye-bye.
All right, that was Alex Gill then. We've appeared to have lost Brett Johns again. His connection not working very well. So hopefully he'll get that sorted soon. And next week we'll have James back on the show. But we've got another good guest this week. He's a BJJ purple belt. I think he's 2-1 or 3-1. He's fought for the Cage Warriors amateur welterweight title. And not just that, he's a very talented guy. He's all singing, all dancing, all punching. Let's hear it. Welcome to MMA Wales podcast to Daniel Morris. Hi, Dan. How's it going?
Hi, Rick. How are you, man? You okay?
Yeah, good, bro. So, did you catch what Alex was saying earlier? Like,
yeah.
Did you watch UFC the weekend?
I did indeed, man. Yeah, it was an awesome show, I thought.
Yeah, have you ever had to fight with no sound around you, or?
No,
So,
I mean some tough sparring sessions in the gym, but apart from that, no one's about.
Well, earlier this year, I thought I'd start training again, and then I sparred with you, and then I was like, I'm having second thoughts about this. Maybe yeah, and then the Ian McKenzie splattered my nose across my face and gave me a black eye.
Yeah, Ian's up some tough rounds too, man. He's an awesome
yeah,
talent.
So anyone who thinks Ian McKenzie is just a wrestler, I mean,
his striking's coming on.
Yeah, I know. So fair play. He's actually asking when can he come on. So maybe next week. Yeah, that'd be awesome to get you and maybe the missus on. So what have you been up to in lockdown? You haven't been training much at all?
Yeah, I've been getting training every day. But I'm still working full time, so not a lot has changed for me in that regard. I still go to work every day, and then train outside of work. Got a punch bag set up out the back garden, welded up a frame. Got a punch bag up. Got some weights. I bought a mountain bike, and then I'm running a lot as well. So I'm still keeping fit.
Yeah, I've been doing 5Ks.
Yeah, I got my time down to 19:30.
Wow. My girlfriend just looked up then from the couch and she's like, "What?" Because she knows because I'm in the 26s now. She thinks that's
yeah.
really
I've seen
good.
your time coming down, man.
It's cool, man. It's cool down. The weight's coming down. The time's coming down.
Yeah.
So like, tell us how you got into MMA.
Well, yeah, I got into it later than I guess most people do. So I'm a bit older. I'm 28 now. I got into MMA when I was about 23, 24. I was doing like the typical Ronda boy thing of just going to the gym and seeing how much I could bench, and that got quite boring very quickly. And when I was in university, I used to work in a tire garage, and Steve White, who's a brown belt now under Wagon and Pedro, he was teaching a beginner's class in CTC. So I started going along to that, and then he gave me a set of MMA gloves and some shorts. So I started going to Brad's MMA class, and I just went from there, really.
Yeah, and so that's your gym now, CTC. And
Yeah.
Do you do training anywhere else or any?
I've been getting a couple of sessions in where I can with the Celtic Pride boys up in Abertillery, area. That's been pretty good. Just on a Thursday night, they've got an MMA class up there, and they're really welcoming and open gym. So it's been good to go up there, get some rounds in with the different boys, get some looks in. Mason, Greg, and Kifir running it. It's a really good class.
Do you spar with Mason a lot?
No, I did a bit of wall wrestling with Mason, but no, I've not sparred with him. No.
No, I wouldn't like to myself. I mean, the guy just seems to hit people from any angle, and we had him on last week. Great guy. Just every time we get him on the podcast, just give him the floor, and he will talk, and everyone tunes in, and he's good for that. So like, obviously you train MMA, you train jiu-jitsu as well, but you're a musician as well. Tell us about that.
Yeah, a bit of a part-time musician as well. Yeah, I've been playing music for years now. Since I was about 16, I started to learn to play the guitar, and then that sort of spiraled into doing like pub gigs and then playing people's weddings. And then I did a bit of session guitaring for the singer Sophie Evans, bits and pieces here and there. That was pretty good. I got to play in the Millennium Stadium when alongside James D. Bradfield from the Manic Street Preachers.
Wow.
And yeah, so I've had some good opportunities for music as well.
You a big music fan as well? Like what sort of stuff you're into?
My kind of stuff is like funk and blues and old soul stuff. So Otis Redding, Sam Cooke, Stevie Wonder, yeah, that kind of stuff.
And you have brought your guitar on as well. So like later on, before we go, we've
got a tune for you.
Play us a tune. We play it towards the end, so
Yeah.
we can finish big. We got a question here from Kai Evans.
Kai.
Who's the most handsome boy you've sparred with? Of course, that's something he'd ask.
Oh, I don't know.
It wouldn't be Kai.
Definitely not Kai.
What about you?
It's got to be you, Rick.
Well, I have been growing this like beard now just so girls are less attracted to me because I got a girlfriend. I'm trying to repel them, but my girlfriend's like she's cracking up laughing. So like tell us about your fight so far. Is it you 2-1 or 3-1?
2-1. So yeah, I started training in I think it was 2016. And then I did a couple of, I don't know if you remember, they did the like amateur interclubs at the Mat Academy.
Yeah.
We started doing those like no headshot MMAs. I had like 2 of those. And then after about 6 months of training, and then about, I think it was either 10 or 12 months after I started MMA, I had the first fight on Adrenaline at the Grand in 2017.
Yeah.
I fought some guy on there at middleweight, I think. It was 80 odd kilos we weighed in at. There was a catch weight. I was a lot bigger back then. And yeah, that one was, I walked through that guy. I stopped him in the first round. And then from then on, I had...
Let me stop you. I fought your next opponent, right? Isaac Downs, yeah?
No, he wasn't my next opponent. So after that, in 2017, I had a K1 match then, just to do a bit of striking. And then I ended up going back to uni to do post-grad in Cardiff Medical School. So that kind of took me out of things for 2 years. And I was training then to fight Isaac, actually. And I was on my way back from Italy. I'd been out to Rome to give a talk. And I was in the airport on the way back. And I was already cutting weight for the Isaac fight because I was going back down to 70 kilos. And I seen Josh Hudson had a pull out on Cage Warriors for the title. And I'd been training with Josh about 2 or 3 weeks before that, doing a bit of wrestling. And he was saying then that he'd had trouble, people pulling out, people not wanting to fight him. And I thought, jump back in. I'd been out for 2 years. And yeah, it was a bit of a bad idea, but...
But, I mean, it was a big fight. It was for the Cage Warriors Wales title. It was in the Ice Arena in Cardiff. What was it like to walk out to like a capacity crowd? Was it full at that point?
It was a good experience in that regard, and it really did kind of knock some sense into me that I needed to get my ass in gear for the Isaac Downs fight. But it was all like I was flying back on the Wednesday, so I'd take the fight on 2 days' notice. I was trying my best then to eat as much as I could to get my weight back up to near what Josh's was. And then I was walking out. It was all a good experience. I really enjoyed it. Even to take positives from it. But oh no, he handed me my ass that night and kicked my ass into gear. Fair play to him. This is like the Josh would be loving this show. Like 2 of his victims on it.
Yeah. I mean, if he's watching, I would say hello, Josh. And then of course, you fought Isaac on Adrenaline. I mean, and Brett, if Brett was on you now, he'd tell you, like, he trains with Isaac and he'll tell you how good Isaac is in the gym and how impressed he was with you how you dealt with Isaac, because like let's face it, like he's watching now, and Isaac's a really good fighter. He's no mug. His stand up is great, and everything else seems to get better every fight. So how did that fight go?
Yeah, I mean, it went pretty well for me. It kind of went as we thought it would go. As we thought it would go. I thought I started off by striking with him for a bit, got a couple of decent leg kicks in, and then the plan was always going to be to change level. I've been working a lot on my wrestling with Chris Jastrzewski, who's a wrestling coach we had at CTC from the States, and the plan was just going to be to take him down and finish it on the deck, and I managed to get him down first time, caught him swinging, and just changed levels, got in on a shot, took him down, and managed to get his back and choke him out.
A great performance, and I mean, huge respect to Isaac as well. I mean, the guy is very talented, so
yeah, I knew he was going to be, you're going to be decent, and I heard that he was a good fighter, so I just thought I just had to go in there and try and steamroll him as best I could.
And as soon as that event was over, there's people started talking about maybe you fighting Brian Evans for the adrenaline lightweight title. I mean, that's a fight I'm sure everyone in the Welsh scene wants to see. How do you feel about that fight?
Yeah, I felt I come home from work one day and I seen that I'd been called out on Instagram, which is pretty cool. I'd never been called out for anything before, and it was nice that to get recognised and for someone to think that that was a tough fight and that they wanted to challenge themselves against me. I thought I'd just leave that decision up to my coach. So I said to Brad that this guy, he's called me out for this. And truth be told, Brad said, what's his record and everything. And I think we looked up his record, and his record was like 7-1, 8-1, something like that. And Brad was like, if we'll have a look at some videos and stuff and see what I think, but perhaps get someone that's more viewers experience and level in first, and then go for that, because you sort of made the mistake of jumping in a bit over your head with Josh Hudson, and we know how that went. So I was just going to leave it up to my coaches to see what he thinks, what he thought was best. If he thought it was better to have a couple more at someone that's got a more similar record to me, but I don't mind. I'd be up for it. I'd definitely be up for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure everyone on the South Wales scene wants to see that, especially Brett Johns as well, who's Brian's cousin. I mean, you and Brian both came to the MMA Cymru trials earlier this year. Did you match up with him in the spars?
I think we sort of, whether he was conscious or not, we sort of avoided each other. I mean, we were cordial to one another, and we had a little chat. And Brian's a really nice guy as well. I got no hard feelings against him or anything like that. But I think in Wales, that's kind of what happens, isn't it? It's such a small scene. You're going to bump into everyone everywhere. And if you have to fight one day, then that is what it is. You can just get in there, have a tear up, and have a beer after. There's no problem doing that.
Just like speaking of like, what you just said about like after a fight getting on and having to be out. Got a message here from Isaac. See, classy as ever from Isaac. Seriously though, thanks for the fight. It was a great experience. So
yeah, and I thank him for the opportunity too. And yeah, Isaac come back to the dressing room straight after the fight. Shook hands and had a little chat, and we said, if the opportunity comes, we get some training in the future. And he was at the Welsh trials as well, but I didn't manage to get any training in with him there.
So you're both impressed at the trials, you and Isaac, and as it happens, the lightweight division was the most stacked. There was at least 6 guys who all were good enough, but as it happens, because you had a busy summer planned, with your best man, and it was a wedding you had to, and a stag weekend you had to work. So you consciously pulled out because you wouldn't have been able to give it the attention it deserves, which I think it was a good reason, and it was less of a headache for the selectors because it's like, right, there's one less person, because you were definitely one of the guys who were impressive. Did you hear about the one guy who came to the trials in the lightweight division? He had one white collar fight, and he was a lightweight, but he decided to partner with all the bantams and the flyweights and the girls.
No, I didn't know about this. What's
So-
the story?
He was quite aggressive as well, and I think if Levi Bachelor is watching, he usually watches. Levi just had to put it on him because he was coming out aggressive, and then he was throwing
Yeah.
the girls around as well, and so like.
I'm surprised Jasmine probably throw him on his head, man. I've seen her toss a few.
Oh, Jasmine, Yayan's missus, she got a hell of a thrown out, but he was a lot bigger and a lot stronger than her, and he was just like, she got the throw him, and he would just pick her up and hold her there, right? And then Levi just did a comment. No, I wouldn't show her because it was a expletive in it, but then I emailed the guy and said, look, mate, there's a lot more experienced guys at you at the weight, blah, blah, blah. And then he replied loads of abuse. I was the best there. I was the best lightweight there. I battered everyone. This is wrong. And I was like, we were all like Wayne and Aaron Jelovic, the coaches, and Alex Smith, and we were like, whoa, like, he purposely went with all the smaller weights and got busted up by Levi, who well, as you said, now the sport isn't made for egos, and
no, that's true.
And I just couldn't believe it. Like, and then he was invited to train at Newport MMA because he said, I can't train. I can't afford to train. He said,
right.
It's like, so you can't afford to train, but you can afford to raise the fund to come out to Rome and represent your country and get all the sponsors, but you can't afford to show up and pay, like, I don't know how much the membership is for Newport MMA. But then he showed up to spar, and there's a video. There's a video that went around, and it's hilarious.
You learned a lesson.
He learned a valuable lesson. So that's the last we ever hear of him. But I think from now on, trials will have to be invite only because
that was a good day though, man. That was I'd like to see that happen more often, even if it was just something that was organized for people all around Wales just to get together and train, because it was awesome to see lots of different boys from loads of different gyms get different looks off different people, and there's a lot of talent in Wales.
Yeah, and it was great to have them all in one room, and then you had like at the Jack Shaw came along as well to support Levi, and then at the squad training as well, Brett Johns jumping in, Scotty Pedersen jumping in. It was just like so many killers on the mat, and it's amazing how much talent in Wales we have. Like, I personally think in Wales we'd be better than England and Scotland. They might have more numbers, but we got more quality, definitely. So, like, we'll talk about Brett first, because I gotta give a shout out to Brett, because he's raising money for NHS charities. He's doing 1,000 miles a month challenge. So I'm gonna try and post a link, and it's going towards Valindra fundraising. My missus is saying she works for Valindra, so I gotta give a shout out. I'm gonna put the link in the comments so everyone can click on. Should have prepared this better, but like Morgan Stoddard is organising it. Do you know Morgan?
I've seen loads of people doing it. The 1,000 miles in May thing. I've seen a lot of people doing it. I don't fancy doing it on my mountain bike, I'll be honest.
Well, he asked me to do it, and I don't have a bike, and I'm not even sure if I can ride a bike anymore. So there we are. I'm trying to find the link to post. Where is it? I've sent it to you, babe. Sorry, I'm talking with Mrs. Dan.
She's your producer. She's like Jamie on Joe Rogan.
Yeah. She just sat there in the tower waiting for me to get off so she can talk. I can't find it, but I'm sure. Like, what I'll just say to guys is, if you want to donate to Brett, go on his Just Giving page. He's cycling 1,000 miles for NHS charities, including Belinda, over the space of a month. and it's a good cause, and we're going through this lockdown and everything. So please donate generously. And you have written a song for Brett, haven't you?
I did indeed, yeah. So the original plan was that Brett would be on, but like you say, he's having Wi-Fi troubles.
He came on for a bit, and he was working.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we got to, before we go for that, Kai Evans, your buddy, said,
Yeah.
Ricky Wright, fun fact, Dan is a wicked chef.
I'm a pretty good chef.
Yeah. Any elaborate? Are you trained or?
No, I think he's just. I think I'm not trained anyway. No, self-trained. I think he's on about. I always post pictures of food to my Instagram, probably on my stories and stuff like. I used to do it a lot. I don't do it so much anymore. But
I used to have a food diary. I still do. Where all the food from all around the world, and I'd post on it. And people like would come up to me and be like, "Oh, Rick, I love your food diary, man. When I'm cutting weight, I just go through your food diary." And I'm a vegetarian now, so that doesn't happen as much anymore.
No,
I'm not having it very much, so it doesn't happen anymore. So back to you. You got your guitar on and you've written a song about Brett, and he is watching.
Yeah, well, I think the original plan was to play Canto, wasn't it, by Jerry Cinnamon? But instead of doing that, I thought, I don't know, is there already a song about Brett Johns, or will this be the first one?
It's probably like a Swansea City chant about Brett Johns.
Yeah.
Dirty Swansea. I found out this weekend that Swansea is twinned with Wuhan. So
is it?
Yeah, that's all I'd say about that. But
and Treorchy is twinned with the town that produces Jägermeister.
There we have it. Treorchy 1, Swansea 0.
Yeah.
So here we go. It's your song. This is Brett. I'll make you full screen. There
Cool.
we go.
Yeah, this is a song about the story of Brett Johns. He grew up in a small town just outside Swansea. Who knew that one day he'd be fighting in the UFC? The story of a Welsh boy with some gloves and a dream to make it to the top with a dragon on his sleeve. He started doing judo to throw the bullies in the street. Thought I better learn some hacks, case they keep it on their feet. Stepped into the cage and started hammering out his name. To call the golden euro, conquered anyone who came. Said send me to America, I'll beat them on their land. I'm feeling unstoppable with this Welsh flag in my hand. True to his word, he brought that belt home. Next thing you know, Dana White's on the phone. He said, hey there, young Brett boy, I'd like to fight in the UFC. Said, hell yeah, Uncle Dana, that's fine by me. You see, anyone can get it, anytime or any place. He'll put you on your back, give you no breathing space. They say that we can wrestle, then he felt the stuff on his face. He'll stop with nothing to get his hands raised. They threw him on to Dublin, a world stage to fight on. The first man from his country to walk a dragon to the octagon. A moment he dreamt about as he first stepped on the scales. Bruce Buffer screaming out, fighting out of Wales. A tough Korean boy got sent on his way. Then he cap-sliced his way to a 50K payday. The fighting pride of Swansea for all the world to see. Flying around the world, ripping off fighters. See, anyone can get it, anytime or any place. He'll put you on your back, give you no breathing space. They say that we can wrestle, they just felt the stuff for space. He'll stop with nothing to get his hands raised. Anyone can gauge anytime or any place. He'll put you on your back, give you love in his face. They say that we can wrestle, they ain't felt this love for face. He'll stop at nothing to get his hand raised.
Mate, that was class. That was class. Even my missus is clapping, and she's really cynical. If I've got a friend who's in a band or on a song, and I say, "Oh, babe, check this out. This is my friend singing," and she'd be like, "No, that was awful." But she was clapping and she was singing along to that. So she's the worst critic on the planet, and she was loving that. And I'm sure Brett is too. I'm sure he was either watching or he will tune in later.
Watch the back, man, can you?
What's that? Yeah. It'll be live. You'll be able to watch back on YouTube and of course while you're on Facebook. That was awesome. So gonna have to perform that live next time. You like
UFC Cardiff.
UFC Cardiff, yeah.
Walkout song sorted.
Nah, but you have to do it for Jack Shaw as well, and John Phillips and Jack Marshall.
That's it. We'll have to do it for everyone.
Good for Josh Matthews there. Brilliant Dan. Awesome. And this one here from Glenn the Sledge. Hairs on the back of my neck standing up. Awesome lyrics.
Ah, nice one, Glenn.
So a lot of good responses. And another one from Glenn as well. Dan, get that published, San.
Yeah, we'll have to get it recorded.
Yeah. Oh, and another one off Nathan Lewis as well. Dan. Oh no, it's a Glenn as well. Oh no, it is Glenn. And Owen Davis has a question. Is there anything he can't do?
Yeah, lick my elbow.
There we have it. Owen Davis. Right, and I was talking about that link for Brett's thing here. Euros Jones Evans, the MMA Wales producer, has just put it up in the comments. So, guys, if you want to donate to Brett for his charity bike ride, that is the link. Euros Jones Evans. So, thanks for coming on, mate. It's been awesome to have you on, and we
thank you very much for having me, man.
Definitely get you on again. I mean, that was brilliant, and thanks to Alex for coming on earlier as well. Two really good guests this week. So thank you guys for tuning into the MMA Wales podcast, and I'll see you next week on Tuesday when we'll have Wally back in the studio, and hopefully by then Brett would have upgraded to at least 3G or Wi-Fi, and I'm sure if you tune in you'll get to see his comments there. So thanks again. So from us, MMA Wales, see you next week.